Hello, hello, my friends. I have another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about HOMEWORX 7-layer carrot cake. This is one of their standard 4-wick, 18-ounce vessels. We've got the beautiful photographic wraparound label, which we know HOMEWORX does very, very well. I did purchase this candle way back around Black Friday. I would say I purchased it during some Good Morning America deals. They had this candle listed for $15 with free shipping, so you know that I snatched that up because I am a fan of carrot cake fragrances. In fact, if you caught my top candles of 2024, one of my favorite fragrances was Kringle's carrot cake. I am also a fan of Bath and Body Works sweet carrot cake, so I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and pick up the HOMEWORX version and see how it compares. So at the moment when I looked up where this candle is available, right now I'm finding it over on QVC, only available as a single candle for $30. So you guys, I'm just going to advise you guys always don't ever pay full price for any of these candles because you can eventually find them on sale. Exercise some patience. And at the time that I'm filming this, I'm not sure if this candle is going to be brought to the Slatkin & Co. website or if it's going to be available at any other retailers. I've heard some rumors that HOMEWORX is no longer going to be carried at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods. I do know that they're partnering with Walmart on some things. I mean, I'm trying to keep up with all the partnerships, and honestly, I really can't. But I do believe that Harry had mentioned on his Instagram in a comment that that partnership with those discount retailers was going to be coming to an end. So I don't know. I'm just passing along what I had seen. But there has been some discussion in the HOMEWORX group, which I am a moderator in that Facebook group. There has been some discussion in there that has taken place. Anyways, you guys, let's get back on the old tracks here. Let's talk about this candle because I want to share my thoughts on it just in case it does become a little bit more widely available outside of QVC, or maybe if it is brought back in another season. I did find it a little bit unique that they released this fragrance around the holidays. To me, this is definitely more of like an Easter time fragrance or maybe like late winter type of fragrance. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes here. The fragrance notes listed on this candle are spice cake, grated carrots, brown sugar, and crushed nutmeg. We have a pour date of this specific candle of July 19th, 2024. So I did mention with this candle on Cold Sniff, when people were asking me, okay, how does it compare to Bath and Body Works and the country candle versions? I said that this felt like it was right in the middle. I find that the Bath and Body Works sweet carrot cake, I detect more of that cream cheese frosting fragrance with the spice cake accord in the background. And it was vice versa with the country candle. The country candle, I smelled more of a spice cake forward fragrance with a hint of frosting in the background, but not cloyingly sweet. This one to me on Cold Sniff smelled like a perfect combo, to be honest with you, between the two. However, I am going to tell you that when this candle is lit, it does still smell good. I definitely still get, I would say it leans a little bit more spice cake than it does any type of frosting note in here, which is okay because there's actually not a frosting note listed in the fragrance accords on the bottom. I don't really detect anything like carroty about this. The one thing that I will say that I do smell, especially if I let this candle burn longer than 2 hours, is that brown sugar note really starts to come out to me. And the reason I know that is because brown sugar fragrances, sometimes to my nose, again, after about that 2-hour mark, they start to smell a little bit scorched. And that, unfortunately, is what I am picking up in this candle. I love it for about the first 2 hours, but after those 2 hours, that brown sugar note really starts to kind of take over. I'm assuming it's a base note in there, which is why it takes a little bit longer for those notes to become a little bit more present. But yeah, it starts to take over the actual cake note in there. And unfortunately, it's not as pleasant as I would like it to be after that mark. Now, prior to that, the first 2 hours, I actually really enjoy the fragrance on this candle. It's definitely spice cake. definitely not as cream cheese frosting forward as Bath and Body Works version, but it's pleasant. I did like it, and I did find it to be a nice fragrance that I could burn here in my house in the month of January. It feels kind of warm and cozy, but also it's a perfect fragrance as I was wanting something different from obviously all of the tree fragrances, but even like all of the like sugar cookie and like super spicy cinnamon type of fragrances. It was just a nice gourmand to kind of transition me out of that, but still gave a cozy vibe to my home. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this candle. So this candle, like I said, I paid $15 on a Good Morning America deal with this one, plus free shipping. So it was a pretty good deal for me. I am going to tell you, I'm glad that I paid that price because strength and throw on this one is not where I would like it to be. I would say the maximum strength and throw I got from this candle was at about like the midway point of like what would I say? The dissolution of wax, like as the wax pool got to about the halfway mark on this candle, I would say that the strongest it was a 7. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my home, I do list in the description box the size of my home, layout, age, environmental factors, all of those things, so you can compare it to your home and see how you can probably adjust the expectations in yours. But I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. So this is where I'm currently at. I have trimmed the wicks on these candles because even though they are labeled as self-trimming wicks, you can see it's not sooty or anything like that, but they do develop a little bit of carbon residue at the end. You can see some carbon residue has fallen into the wax pool. And I will say that it doesn't smell sooty or anything like that. I'm not getting like a sooty wax smell from this. Like I said earlier, if I detect anything that smells kind of burned or scorched, it's definitely coming from the brown sugar note in this candle. But what I will say is that I did, especially the first 2 burns on this candle, they were pretty large, not large, thick carbon balls at the end, but they were definitely ones that I wanted to trim off because I didn't want to relight and have them explode into the wax pool. So that's just my own personal recommendation, but no burn issues in terms of it pooling out. It pooled out easily for me. Very, very good burn for me on this one. Now, that being said, my first burns with HOMEWORX candles, I learned in 2024 that I would usually allocate I would say at least 4, sometimes 5 hours of burn time on the first burn, just to make sure that it would completely pool out. But that really was not a problem with this candle. The only thing that I would just say is just the fluctuation, once again, in the performance. In terms of those first like 3 burns, I did have this burning in my master bedroom, which is more closed concept, lower ceilings. And even in there, like the first burn, I really struggled to smell it. Second burn, I could, but it was still maybe a strength and throw of like maybe around a 4, was not very strong. But again, once I got to that halfway point, then I started to realize, oh, this candle almost feels a little bit too strong in the room. And so I moved it out here into the open concept. And there it performed, like I said, around like max performance would be a 7. But I think that if you want to give me, if you want me to give you an average strength and throw on this one, I'm going to give it about a 5.5. It's just right in the middle range. If you have a closed concept, you're probably going to smell it a little bit better. But in an open concept, especially the first half of this candle's life, I would say the first 3 burns, you're really not going to get great performance out of it for an open concept. So unfortunately, I personally don't see myself repurchasing this candle, even though I really liked the fragrance on cold. And like I said, I thought it was the best of both worlds from 2 other carrot cake candles. But mainly it's the performance. It's also that little bit of like a scorched note in there that has just kind of steered me away from wanting to purchase this one. Again, I say that I would still prefer Bath and Body Works Sweet Carrot Cake, but actually my number 1 carrot cake preference is still going to be the Kringle format, which I've mentioned this in a couple of videos, but spoiler alert, we have seen teasers that that candle will be brought back for this Easter, and it's, instead of it being in the country jar, it's going to be in the like Kringle 2-wick tumbler format, which I'm really excited about. I love that fragrance. I could see myself possibly purchasing 2 backups of that because I really, really enjoyed that fragrance. So like I said, the price point right now being $30 on QVC, you guys, if it goes on like a really, really deep clearance, then maybe I could see, if you wanted to try this one out. But Yeah, definitely not for the $30 price point. So I hope to see this one maybe make its way to the Slatkin & Co. website, though. That would be, again, if you want to get it on a sale and you have a more closed concept home, it would probably perform better for you. But like I said, me personally, it's just not going to be a repurchase. So please consider hitting thumbs up if you enjoyed this video or if you found it helpful. Also, if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Katie. I love to talk all things candles. I do dedicated reviews, hauls, empties, and a bunch of fun candle stuff in between. So if you like that type of content, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Feel free to comment down below. Have you bought this candle? Have you burned it? What has your burn experience been with it? I'm always curious to hear what others have been experiencing. And I think that that actually helps out our community as a whole, because I'm just one person. I know that there's a lot of other fellow creators who do candle reviews, but hearing from all of you guys too helps us with making smart purchases. So feel free to comment down below. All right, you guys, I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.